Tiger fans, welcome to the kickoff of the 2024 season. This is the Big Blue Pregame Show. I'm your host, Julius McNair.
And I'm your faculty athletic rep, Dr. Nicole Arrighi. How are we feeling, Julius? How you doing?
I'm doing well today. Weather's good right now. Hopefully it holds up for us.
It is good. And Tiger fans, this is Julius's first, this is inaugural John A. Merritt Classic weekend. How you feeling?
Indeed it is. I will say this, the last 3 days in that ticket office, fans, y'all have ran me crazy.
I mean, well, they're excited to be here, and it's a wonderful day to be here. Are there any things that you're looking forward to other than our phenomenal lineup of guests today?
Outside of the lineup, obviously, I'm looking forward to watching our football team start the season on a positive and high note, obviously trying to build continuously from last year. But other than that, man, the festivities has been well. Obviously, started with yesterday, with Thursday, with the community cleanup. And then we had yesterday's events on campus and then downtown on Belcourt. And then obviously, today's the big day. It's game day.
It's game day. And I'm just going to tell you, as your faculty athletic rep, there is nothing more exciting than to have a football game, to bring the campus community together. And so I'm really excited for our lineup today. You're going to be amazed, Tiger family, about who is here today.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I feel so blessed. So
Absolutely.
blessed.
I mean, honestly, Doc, what better way to start the 2024 season than here at home in Nissan with the well-known John A. Merritt Classic, right?
Oh, yeah, we don't do it very often, so let me tell you.
That's what I've heard. That's what I heard.
Starting off at home, I had to go ahead and redo my outfits and everything. I thought I had time, Tiger fans, but no, this is a really good way to just, again, bring everyone together. I mean, the Nashville community has been such a support, and we definitely expect that to continue because they're learning about the richness of our university, the legacy of John A. Merritt as a coach, and what he has contributed to this community. And I guess you will be just overwhelmed as I am when you hear some of the great stories about our institution and about this classic.
Absolutely. No, we have a great lineup, as Dr. Nicole said. We have former Tiger letter winners here. We have Tiger friends that's going to talk about our Johnny Merritt Classic honoree, Mr. Clint Gray. So it's going to be a big day, a lot of stories today, folks. And then, but we're still going to talk about the game of football. We're going to talk about this Tiger team that they battled, the bruises and scars they battled with through the fall season, fall camp. And so it's an exciting time, though. We're excited to get out here today. And I mean, I'm ready.
I'm ready too. And before we get to our first guest, I hope that you are safely watching this, maybe with some beats on or something like that, making your way over to this game, because we want to see this stadium packed, on behalf of our coach, John A. Merritt.
Absolutely. and I will say, I saw the tickets numbers this morning. I won't get the number out.
Okay.
But I'm very, very impressed with the number that's there.
Yay!
So make sure you're here. You bought the tickets for a reason. If you're not going to use them, transfer them, right? Give them to somebody who will be here that's going to make some noise and cheer the Tigers on, even if you have to do it from a distance.
I knew my crew was going to show up. I said, don't have me looking bad. This is Julius's first John A. Merritt Classic. So we need to, truly, induct him into what is a TSU Classic. We have a great season ahead of us.
I guess I am getting baptized by fire today, though.
We don't want to talk about fire in this heat, but okay.
We won't, but we'll go ahead and start get right into our show. We're talking about our first guest. She's a dual sport. She's a 2024 TSU Hall of Fame inductee. I can't wait to hear her story. I know many of you probably know who she is, but if you want to, Doc, you want to do the introduction?
I absolutely
other than that?
do, because any woman that can play two sports and come to TSU, let me tell you, we are happy to have Miss Darlene Morrow coming to us and joining us today. Miss Morrow, how are you doing?
Great. I am great, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. So I do need to know, as a faculty member, any student athlete that competes in two sports excels in two sports and has been inducted into the TSU Hall of Fame. Let the people know, how do you love having that blue jacket?
Oh my goodness. I cannot tell you how much that jacket means to me.
Aww.
I cannot tell you how much Tennessee State University means to me. So not only am I a proud alumni, both of my children are alumni, and both of them are former student athletes. So you can imagine what my house looked like and how we bleed blue.
Absolutely.
You need some Band-Aids for all that
Yeah,
blue. I
we
love
do.
it.
You got to understand, she's not the only champion in her house now.
Oh.
She has a daughter that has won a championship as well.
Okay,
And
put
so,
me on.
I want to know, do you guys get into a little tussle sometimes about these trophies?
You know, people ask me that all the time.
Julius did it this time.
They do, and I'm gonna tell you this. You know, I'm one of those people that are her number one supporter. I'm her number one fan, and luckily we played two different positions. So
Okay.
when we get in that battle of who was the best, I'm the better shooter.
Okay.
The better rebounder. But I'm gonna end it with I have a grandchild that's gonna surpass all of us. So she's only 9 and she's already shooting better than me.
Oh,
So
oh wow, that means you guys taught her well early.
we tried.
So when you think about the John A. Merritt Classic then and what it has evolved to now, talk about that sense of spirit and what that means for you.
Well, the athletic department in a whole has progressed a lot, and I'm so very proud to be a part of it. I remember when I was playing, we had meager resources, and we were just they did the best with what they had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it taught me to appreciate what I had, because our coaches, I had phenomenal coaches, and to see this university where it is today is just another notch on that proud belt. I just love the environment. I love seeing it. And I love the way the university continues to pour back into the community.
Okay.
I guess that's a good segue to talk about the community. So as the director?
I am the superintendent of community centers.
That sounds even better, right?
It's
It's better what I was going to make up. Yeah.
Let them know that.
It's better what I was going to make up. So, and being that, and as the overseer for the Junior Tigers and myself, the kids program here, you know, we've obviously built a relationship and a partnership. And can you just talk about how the Junior Tigers will end up uprising the kids in the community?
Well, I'm going to tell you, just to back up a little bit,
Okay.
I'm the superintendent of community centers with Metro Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so blessed to hold that position because I grew up with Parks and Rec. So it's to be able to provide programs for kids like me.
Mm-hmm.
It's an extra blessing. But then to have this partnership with the university that I love, it couldn't get any better than that.
Correct.
And the impact that it brings is that, you know, kids that grew up in the inner city like I did, they don't know anything about the college experience and the college life, being a first-time college student in my family. Being on that campus and seeing so many people that looked like me, that had goals and was educated, was something I had never seen before.
Wow.
And so to be able to expose our kids to that type of environment, the HBCU experience is more impactful than you can really express.
No, I value that, and as a mom, I definitely understand the importance of exposure. Definitely think it's beneficial to know how that impact is meaningful to our youth, especially if you're not getting that from your home or your community. So thank you for that work. Again, as a mom, I need those parks and recs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and so I'm looking forward to continuing to build that relationship with not just you, but the kids in those centers as we offer those items and the opportunity to actually step foot on campus and be a part of our festivities, our game day atmosphere, and maybe have I guess a day with the student athletes in a sense, you know, to bring that to life and just so they can get a sense of what the pride that our students and our student athletes have in themselves. And so I'm excited about that, to continue to build that with you for sure.
I am so excited about that.
So I have another question for you. When you think about those relationships and how we can establish those partnerships and growing our youth to think and understand the importance of TSU, where does that fit in terms of how student athletes can role model and mentor? How is that working for you or been beneficial for you in your experience?
Well, I think the one thing that student athletes may not appreciate while they've been a student athlete is that they're role models. I had to the opportunity to have a young lady write me a letter while I was in college. I had no idea that kids were coming to the game. And she told me how much she admired me, how much she tried to model herself after me. And it did more for me than I think it did for her, because I had no idea people were looking at me that way. And so for these athletes to be able to have that contact with our kids and show them what the end result can be, because we have youth leagues, basketball, flag football, all of that. These kids, everybody thinks they're going to the NFL, but when they see the student athlete and how they can communicate and how they can relate to them, it changes expectations. You know, it really does, and life is all about expectations.
It
so.
is.
I
love that.
That is true. That is true.
Absolutely love
And
that.
so we talk about the John A. Merritt Classic, and I know you had your experiences around campus, and obviously when it was back in the hole. Just talk about that, and how has it transformed from the hole to here, and how important would it be to give back on campus?
Well, I think that going back on campus will better expose the students on campus to the tradition of TSU football. It surprises me that people don't know the tradition and the legacy of our great football stars. I mean, so many have gone to the NFL and had Hall of Fame careers. There's still a few more that need to be in the NFL Hall of Fame that we're still waiting on. But just that, I think that will instill a additional sense of pride to the student body, because they really don't know the tradition of TSU and the tradition of excellence around their campus.
Yeah.
Okay, now I might be a little bit nosy and jumping out on this, but do you have a favorite John A. Merritt Classic memory?
Oh my goodness.
All right, oh, now remember, there might be some kids watching.
She can't tell.
Okay, now.
Hey, just know that I've had my share of good times.
Okay.
And that is all that matters.
And that's what it's all about.
That is all that matters.
The community of the John A. Merritt Classic. That's what it's all about. The tailgating, the alumni, the family atmosphere. You can't, I mean, every year is different. I don't know if I can point out one that just jumped out, but it's a good time. It really is.
That's all that matters. And so,
we're holding you to a high standard now.
I
Jules.
see that. I
This
see
your
that.
first one.
It's
so.
my first one. I want to get the next one back in the hole, right? I've talked to Dr. Allen about this, and we want to be live in 25 in the hole. And so, fans, y'all hear me talk about this. You hear us talking about this. We want to get this thing back on campus, pack that stadium out, right? Bring that revenue back to campus. But before we let you go, I'm not the only new face on campus. Our women's basketball coach, Coach Candace Dupree, is here. Talk about the impact that from a WNBA player can have on that team.
I think a WNBA player brings in a level of experience at playing at such a high level that, like I said, it's about expectations.
Yeah.
And back when I played for Coach Teresa Phillips, the former AD. One thing I know that she changed was the culture of winning. She would not accept anything less than your best.
Yeah.
No excuses, anything less than your best. And I expect that from Coach Dupree.
Absolutely.
And I expect the girls to respond, because she has modeled that championship behavior.
That she had. No, you're right about that. So, Doc, I don't have anything else from Miss Morrow.
We expect for you to have a wonderful 2024 John A. Merritt Classic game day. Thank you so much for taking time to share with us this afternoon.
Thank you
Keep
for
that
having
smile. Go make some memories.
Some new ones, huh?
Some ones that you might be able to share and tell. We're not going to watch. We're not watching.
Yeah, no, Ms. Morrow, thank you for attending today, and we appreciate you. Obviously, enjoy the game, and look forward to talking to you more.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Absolutely.
Be well.
Thank you.
So, Tiger fans, please know that there is still, first and foremost, time for you to get tickets. Number two, you heard from our assistant AD of Strategic Initiatives about getting that next game into the hole. So let's make sure that we're doing our part to make that happen. We need your involvement and we need your engagement.
Absolutely. And so, obviously, coming up next, we have none other, right?
None other.
A man that doesn't need an introduction, honestly.
You better give him an introduction.
I'm just going to say the face of athletics, right?
Okay.
Dr. Mikki Allen, if you wanted to come on and join us on set.
Come on.
Listen, he don't get much from me today.
He don't get a lot from me.
Hey.
Dr. Allen, how you doing this Saturday?
Wow, look at here. Come on, look at this scene we have live.
No rest for the weary.
Titan Stadium, Nissan Stadium,
is out.
Tennessee State University's stadium.
Yeah.
People
Put
don't
that
know
on
we
there.
rock here now. We got
Okay.
locker room
They'll know
here,
that.
branding.
Hey, if they don't know,
Come
the
on.
logo is all around this place.
Yes.
It's not just on the
yes.
microphone,
On the
y'all. It's
outside and on the inside.
It's on
Yeah,
everything.
they don't know.
For
that.
everybody passing interstate to
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
the 5-star,
Yeah.
4 stars to
Yeah.
see. We doing it here right
We
now,
got
here
it.
at Big Blue.
We got it.
Yeah, this
we
is
got it.
awesome.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
somebody's
John Merritt
feeling
Classic,
good.
right?
Yeah,
John Merritt.
John Merritt. John A. Merritt. John A. Merritt.
John A. Merritt, middle name Ayers, coached here from 1963 to 1983.
Man.
20-year run,
Man.
4 undisputed
Man.
national
Talk
titles,
about it. Talk
HBC
about it.
from,
He put some education on y'all.
black
Take notes,
national titles,
youngins.
right? Multiple individuals that he put
In the league.
in the league.
Yeah. Hall of Fame.
Right, Hall of Famers from Richard Dent, Claude Humphreys. We need to get Too Tall Jones in there. I think they're working on that in Canton, Ohio. That'd be good.
It's working, yeah. I'm going to go see Ed play some golf here in a couple months. And
Right.
I'm going to see if I can
At
get
the Classic, Southern Heritage
down
Classic,
there,
right?
Okay.
Absolutely.
No,
So,
but
see if we can get him in
just
there.
this event, Dr. Nicole and Julius, just to have an opportunity to have a football game that really honors his legacy, what he meant to the Tennessee State University community, the family, the legacy that was transferred into young people and the guys now that are fathers and have all Hall of Fame careers, but they also have big careers that they established in the workforce.
Absolutely.
I mean, man, and that's what it's about. And so we got another coach that's trying to emulate that named Eddie George, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because it's more than just football.
It's
You
more than
want to make
football.
sure that the products that come out of our system, our pipeline at Tennessee State University are true representatives of what we call think, work, serve.
Yep.
And they're prepared to take on life after sports, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Uphold that level of excellence that we talk about on
Yeah,
campus and obviously
absolutely.
in every conversation that carries those big blue letters of TSU, So
Absolutely.
I'll let you take
So
this
I want to
over.
know, we don't normally have home games this early in the season. So talk about how this hopefully will propel us into the season, the momentum about having game here, beautiful day, and taking on Mississippi Valley State.
Absolutely. So you want to get off to a good start.
Yeah.
You talk about the early game. We're Labor Day weekend, so it's an extended weekend. We've galvanized the community with a lot of events leading up to the day. There's going to be events hopefully after this big win this evening. But this game's important because it really sets the table, and you've been beating up on each other physically in practice and in camp. And so, our guys want to do that against an opponent. And, I'm just pleased that we're able to play this game against an HBCU opponent. There's a cultural aspect from the bands and the pageantry, and just that HBCU culture is blended when you're able to play an HBCU opponent. So Mississippi Valley State, we certainly know about the history of that program with Jerry Rice. I think we know that name,
Yeah, we
right?
know that one.
Arguably the best receiver that ever did it. Played for the 49ers, Hall of Famer himself. But we have an opportunity to play a formidable opponent and get our season kicked off. We had a great year last year. We took a step. Took a step. We're 6-5, and so this year is a big year because now I think all the pieces are there. We got the depth. We really bolstered our offensive and defensive lines, and Draylen Ellis has the maturation process is really improved for him. Got a new coordinator in Partridge. Man, it's a lot going on.
I'm not the only new face to this classic.
Right.
I just want to let you know that, okay? I'm not the only one. Okay?
At this table you are. That's all that counts.
We saw early games like you saw Colorado play North Dakota State.
Yeah.
We played North Dakota State next week.
week.
They
Yeah.
almost beat Colorado. But you talk about us playing North Dakota State. We schedule now. We're looking at this brand as being a brand that we can go out there and compete on a national level, and that's how you get the best kids to come to your program, right? They want to play against the best because they want an opportunity to showcase their skills for the NFL.
Absolutely.
And that's what it should be.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I feel like everybody needs to know that he's not only our AD, but someone has gotten an NCAA recognition. This is now a member of our our football championship committee. As a member of the D1 Council, I know how huge it is, but please explain to the Tiger community about how important that is for an HBCU and certainly for our conference. And I hate to say it, but I love to say it.
Yeah.
An African-American male to serve on that committee in that position. What does that mean for us?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. It's never been done here. Yeah. And I'm representing the OVC and the Big South. But more importantly, I'm representing HBCUs and the Tennessee State University. Right? And so being able to work with other colleagues of mine in the FCS space and collaborate and watch games and talk about what should the field look like, who's competing at a high level, ideas to make the student athlete experience the best possible experience in Frisco, Texas, and during the playoffs. That's very important because at the end of the day, we all do this because we're trying to pour in and invest in the student-athlete experience, whether it's on the academic side of the house or the athletic side of the house. So being able to represent one of my alma maters on that committee, I'm just pleased, so appreciative, and I'm not going to take the role lightly at all.
Well, it's well-deserved. I want to make sure that I properly welcome you to that stage and say congratulations.
Thank you, Doc.
So thinking about, this is Big Blue Country, but, as AD, you take on a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you rest but also get to enjoy a momentous event like the John A. Merritt Classic?
Yeah, well.
Give me some notes.
It's a big job. It's a big boy job, but you gotta be resilient. You have to be fixated in your vision and the execution of your vision. And as you're going through each day, you have to know you can't do it alone. Right. You got to have a great faculty athletic rep, right?
Me.
You got right. You got to have a great fundraiser, right? To the left of me and Julius McNair. You have to have a team. And you also have to have constituents on campus that understand what you're trying to get done. Like I said, what we're trying to get done here is we're trying to represent the university as the athletic arm, but we also know there's a responsibility to make sure that we're marketing, promoting the institution and showing that we do competitive excellence at a high level. Right. What that does is, in turn, it brings and magnetizes a kid that's out there looking, maybe a student, maybe not a student athlete, that says, hey, I want to go to that university. I love the band. I love the football team. I love how they competed. I love what that university stands for, and I want to be a student there. That's our purpose in athletics. I know the wins and losses, we want to win more than we lose, but we also have that purpose as well. So in my role, what I just try to do, I really study the history and know where my feet are at. I don't take that lightly. I know that there were a lot of individuals that did this job that before me, and there were a lot of alums, former Tigers. There's alums that are looking in, and they feel that this is their program, and it is. And every day I wake up and work, I make sure that I'm representing their program.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's always people that have laid the foundation before you, and you're just kind of build on top of that, and that's kind of how the foundation works, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Doc, I mean, obviously it's game day.
It's here.
It's here.
Not going anywhere.
It's not.
Look. I mean, look at the scene. Now the Tiger head. When I look back there, look behind us in the scenery, we changed the logo because we wanted a logo that was, we wanted to change our branding. And our branding, when it changed in 21, we changed the Tiger, changed the look, we refined it, made it look fierce, right? And it's done really well in the collegiate licensing space. Our apparel numbers are 500+% higher in all our merch. And that's important, that everybody feels great about what they're putting on their chest, right? What they're taking off the rack, right? And it sets right there an eye to eye with an Ohio State, with a Grambling, with a FAMU, right? We want our brand to look good.
It's there.
Come on now.
No,
it looks good.
It's there.
Thank you.
It looks
It's
good on
there.
that monitor. It definitely looks good.
Yeah, it's there. Well, Doc, before we let you go, man, we just want to say thank you again for obviously making an appearance today.
Man.
It's a huge day for Tiger fans, for our football team, even for our fans, right? It's football season. It's back. It's time.
It's
We're back.
time, man.
So,
We've had the young people out here
Yeah, we
earlier.
did.
Y'all talked about that. The youth football games. We got the Battle of the Bands.
bands going,
activating Metro Nashville Public Schools,
Yes.
Metro Parks.
Yeah.
This is what this event's going to be about going forward, and what it was about. Prior to me getting here, we're going to continue the legacy.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, we're going to let you roll, Doc.
All right, Big Blue.
Tiger fans, we'll be right back. Welcome back, Tiger fans, to the Big Blue pregame show. I'm your host, Julius McNair.
And I'm your faculty athletic rep, Dr. Nicole Origi.
And here with us on set next, we have a 1973 Tennessee State wide receiver champion. We have with us a former Philadelphia Eagle player and local Pearl Cone graduate, Mr. Randolph Williamson. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Very honored to have you here today.
Right.
And so you've had much history in playing in many of these classics, all right? So just kind of talk about your past experience and kind of how this class has grown to what it is today.
Well, 1973 was my freshman year, and that was the year we went undefeated.
Okay.
And so they didn't have those classics like we have here. We had big games though.
Okay.
So they were similar like classics. So we had the big games against Florida A&M, things like that, games like that. So they were pretty good games and a lot of competitive edges going on at that time. So 73 my first year, but 1978 was my senior year.
Senior year,
Yeah.
and then you went on and had a. How long did you play the NFL?
2 years.
2 years, okay. Well, you still have that track to the league, and have obviously that experience, and for you to come back home, and now you have a business that we'll kind of dive into a little bit. Doc, he's a little bit of a designer.
Okay.
And if you must know, there's some very well-known names on that list. We'll let him talk about that.
Oh, please do. I got my pen to take notes.
Well, you can ask me anything you want about it, but I'm a little shy about what
your favorite John memory.
He's a little shy, but yeah. So just talk about your business.
Well, basically, I've been doing clothing for a long period of time. Actually, it started in high school.
Okay.
And when I went on to Tennessee State to further my degree, I majored in clothing and textiles. Okay. And so, TSU helped me to enhance my program, and it just went on. And by playing football, I was able to do clothes for a lot of the guys on the team. When they got drafted, they came to me after they got those bonus checks, and I had a shop up in my dormitory room.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was able to profit off of that situation.
Talk about a hustler.
I don't know if you want to tell them it was out the dorm room. It was in somebody else's dorm room, not
by
ours.
any means necessary, right? Not by any means necessary.
They used to call my dorm room the shop. So everybody said, "Hey, let's go up to the shop." They knew where to go.
They knew where to go. I love it.
So in thinking about your presence as a member of that championship team, what does that mean for you now to see how John A. Merritt Classic has evolved over those years, and what lessons you can give to our current players?
Well, playing with the guys that I was playing with during that time, like I stood on their shoulders, in order to prolong our winning type of career that we had. So, but the younger guys kind of look at it a little different the way we looked at it back then. So you're talking about 35 years ago, at least, but the winning desire is always there. Yeah. And I noticed when I watch them practice, they trying to prepare themselves. Yeah. But it just still feels a little different because, the way the guys become a member of the football team with that transfer policies, how they can move around and stuff like that.
We have that.
And they got that NIL thing that they can get paid. So none of that was present when we played.
That's true.
So we did get $35 a month for laundry fee. And we would just look forward for that all the time. But it's just, the kids, they are a little different, but they are hungry. They are still hungry, and that's what Tennessee State football needs to be like, and stay hungry, and I think they'd be okay.
Yeah, it needs to continue that.
Sure.
And we obviously everybody talks about, we talk about the 6-5 record last year, and again, we know that's not the best because there are some times that some of the games that we were in and we should have pulled them off, And so when we just talk about when you were being coached by Coach Merritt, kind of the culture, the mindset. Just talk a little bit about how he instilled that within the team and how we can kind of push that with our current guys.
Well, we had a lot of different leaders on our football club, and John Merritt used to try to spot the type of guy that he needed to lead these guys in the midst of the battle. So you had to have certain kind of guys that would lead us into battle, and those guys are guys that you kind of afraid of. You know what I'm saying? So when they lead you, you got to follow. But John Merritt was a heck of a coach. And he was a social guy, very social guy, and and we all kind of picked up the attitude of him, So we kind of had this same type of attitude that we would, be like and become social with each other and try to help each other along the way, So that's the only difference that I feel is just the more of the personal thing that the guys have with each other versus what's going on now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what do you think? Because I know a lot of coaches are very humble, and so this might be a little bit of a weird question, but what do you think your coach would say about having an event like this that bears his name?
He would be very positive, like you said, the coaches are a little different too. So as well, a lot of times, the coach could get in your face and point that finger at you and jack you up in the collar and all that kind of stuff and make you go run laps around the field. But they don't do that now. They punish in a different way, And I think that corporate punishment started in schools, where you can't spank kids anymore. So those kids don't expect to be chastised, But we back then you could do that and get away with it, So that's one problem. We're not a problem, but that's one reason that the guys, you can get more out of them, than you can back then.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
So what are you looking forward to the most now that you get to enjoy the festivities of this year's Classic?
Well, actually, I'm semi-retired, I guess to say. I'm semi-retired, and my clothing business is doing well, but I'm kind of backing up a little bit more. I've been doing it for 40 years.
Wow.
That sounds like a whole lot, but I'm counting the years in college as well.
Okay, we'll let you count them.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I'm still pushing on and doing the things that I need to do. Try to work out, try to stay healthy, and everything like that. I've been able to go out to the practices and watch them, and I'm seeing some good things with Eddie George. Eddie George and I are very great friends, and I always try to support him as much as I can. And they're on the road of success, I think so. I think they won 6 or 7 games last year.
Yeah, it was 6.
Six, and so they're improving every year. And I feel that actually they're going to get past that mark that they need to pass and everything. So, like I said, I watch them in practice, and I see a lot of good things.
That's good. What better way to start it than here at home and kick off the 2024 season at John Merritt Classic. So I think that the Tigers are going to prevail. But we appreciate you being on the show today. Obviously sharing your story.
I'm glad you invited me.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharing your story and obviously, talk about Coach Merritt. And so, again, we want you to enjoy the game today, and we'll be around. So look forward to seeing you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Just walk over.
So I'm learning a lot. I can definitely tell you that the great thing about wisdom is knowing to listen when you have greatness in front of you. So I really, really appreciate that. And speaking of wisdom, coming to the state. Why'd you make that face?
Wisdom. Comes from above.
Well, you were standing up, so now you're coming down to my level.
There we go. Yeah, she got you.
Quick.
She got you. She got you.
Communication major also.
So how are you doing today?
Doing great.
Wonderful.
Well, I'm going to give a brief rundown real quick.
Please do.
One champion just left the table, left the set.
Yes.
And we had another one join us.
Okay.
He was a free agent with the Falcons. He has records at the TSU. I'm going to get him to talk about those. His son and his brother played at TSU as well.
That's correct.
And not only is he a football player, not only he's a father and a brother, he's also a pastor.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
So when you said it comes, wisdom comes from above,
So he
meant
need you.
it.
Come on, give me the keys. And we gonna say some prayers, and I'm gonna need you to throw some anointment over there.
Yeah, he meant it. So Mr. Granville.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Most people call me Sunny, but
we gonna be professional.
Well, you can call me. I answer by both.
Hey, we gonna call you anything.
No, I don't want you.
No. So, Mr. Sunny, how's your day going?
Doing great. Left home with a beautiful wife and a wonderful home.
Oh, man.
And, good children and grandchildren.
Love to hear that.
My health is good. I know where I am. I know who I am, and I know whose I am. All in the same day.
So as a student athlete who also had the opportunity to play with Coach Merritt, talk to me about what that looks like as a student athlete competing for Coach Merritt, but then also being a spectator today, participating in the John A. Merritt Classic.
Woo! I don't know how much time do you really have.
Give you as much time as you need, sir.
It's been a few years, so my experience at Tennessee State and playing for Coach Merritt, I was recruited by Coach Gillum.
Okay.
To come to Tennessee State from Nashville Pearl High School. And back then, Tennessee State would get most of the athletes from other states in Mississippi, Ohio, Texas, some of the best picks of athletes all over. I was fortunate enough to be able to get a scholarship there, and my first encounter was we was in the gym, King Hall at that time, our first meeting, and Coach Merritt comes in, and you got to know him to really appreciate this. But so one of the first things he said was, "Those who stay,
all right,
will be champions."
Okay.
Okay. Well, I didn't know the gravity of that till our first practice. It was just a running session. We had to run 100 100s on a hot day like today.
Educate me
See,
and the
Doc
masses
don't know
on
what the
what that
100
is.
100 yards.
Yeah,
And it was just
100
back
times.
and forth 100 times. 100 yards.
On roller
not
skates,
100.
right?
No.
No roller skates?
No.
Oh,
And
Tom
play.
and Jerry.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry.
And they were dropping like flies. All of them All-Americans from other states and stuff, they didn't know what it would take to do that. And people were leaving in droves, but he said those who stay will be champions. And luckily enough for us that I played on 2 undefeated teams, 1970 team, which I think is our best team, and then 1973 team, which I happened to be the captain of that year. So we were the Black National Championship for both of those years. So it's been a good ride, good ride.
That is awesome. Go ahead, Doc.
So what does it feel like now when you see how the programs have changed, you see the climate of the collegiate sports change? How does that feel for you, knowing how meaningful someone like Coach Merritt put into TSU and invested in athletes like yourself?
Well, I think Coach Merritt would have adjusted to the times, and these are certainly different times. You got a different kind of athlete. I got children and grandchildren, and most people who came there at the time that I came, they couldn't go back home. They left home
and stayed gone.
And there was no mama told them you might well stay because your bed's already been taken. You're not coming back. So when you came to practice, it was a fight for a position, a fight to be on the team, and you stayed hungry, and then you wanted to play.
Yeah.
And competition was rough. So the kids these days, not much adversity sometimes, they can't have to compete. So I don't do that. I go somewhere else.
Get up and leave.
You have to get up and leave. So they have many more options. So I see that. And I'm glad for them to be able now to get the money for the ones who can get it.
Right.
Because I think the NCAA and the money makers up for the people who made money off these athletes, and they wouldn't get. We got $15 a month for laundry fee.
Listen.
Y'all are holding on to this laundry thing.
That is a core memory at V.
Yeah, y'all heard that before today?
Yeah, he just told us, yeah.
Well, that was a big deal because we had no money.
Yeah.
And we look forward to that $15. Things were a whole lot cheaper then.
Either you was gonna eat or you was gonna wash some clothes.
Well, you had to make
You had to make a decision.
You had to make a decision.
Well, Sonny.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you know this or not, but this year will mark 50 years of something that you hold very special at TSU.
Yes, sir. 50 years.
50 years. You will hold the interception record here on campus.
Wow, I know. That really date me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk about your time and your interceptions and obviously being in the record books. That don't happen to everybody.
Yeah, I am blessed, and I was lucky to have great players around me, as in the Cleveland Eagles, who's gone on to be with the Lord, and Too Tall Jones and Carl Wafer, and I had good other defensive back to play out in the corners, Larry House, James Johnson, Larry Merritt, Peter Lewis, Oliver Davis. We were very competitive in that. So when you got the best pass defense has always been pass rush.
Always.
So I was lucky enough. Coach Gillum named me to be the the captain, so really the coach on the field because I was the
Right.
deepest of those. So all I had to do was to figure out where they might throw the ball to. And they did a really good job of getting us a good scout report. So you calculate, before they had computers, calculate it down in the distance, testate who's on the field, who they might throw it to, and just be there to be in the area so when it does happen, you can make the interception. So my greatest interception was my first year playing, redshirt freshman year. We were playing Grambling down in the hole, and they were coming back to beat us. This is about my third or fourth game starting. I changed from a cornerback to free safety. So they were driving for the winning touchdown, and I intercepted the pass in the end zone and brought it back out. So that kind of started my career.
That's awesome.
Going for that was my first interception.
That was the first
one.
So what does that feel like?
Yeah.
Oh, it still feel good to this day. I still can see it and realize how scared I was when I got it. And I was in the end zone, and all I had to do was really just get it out of the end zone and just take a knee. But I struck out and tried to run it back, but just glad to get that interception. And that has been kind of the hallmark of my career.
That's awesome. Outside the championship.
Outside the championship.
Outside the championship.
Oh, yeah. So.
Okay, so I know you are a man of faith, but I'm still asking everybody for the tea. So now that you are no longer a student athlete, what is your favorite or most memorable John A. Merritt Classic memory?
Oh.
Y'all gonna quit this with these?
Hey, they had a lot. Listen, we need something, right? We gotta have something.
Well, I've been involved. First thing, I was on the committee.
Okay.
So I got a chance to be in a lot of meetings, and you take the honoree today.
Yeah.
Clinton.
Yeah.
Uncle Clint, we called him. Okay.
Yeah.
He led us through that, and and Teresa Phillips were instrumental in celebrating those championship teams to bring those guys back.
Yeah.
So you talk about my memory. My memory is when we did that. We was able to sit up in the suite together. We was able to have a breakfast over there at Maxwell House together. I got plenty of pictures of all those kind of things because it's about relationships.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
No, it is.
It's about relationships, and those relationships. I mean, a lot of people can't understand, but when we get together, we haven't forgotten because we know where all of us come from, how we struggle, how we got to this point, and those who have gone on, and so we have those memories.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Pastor Sunny, we appreciate you joining the doc and our set today. Obviously, we want you to enjoy the John Merritt and obviously enjoy year 50 of your record at the TSU.
Well, I am. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely.
We're glad to have you.
I'm just glad to be here and glad to be a part of the Tennessee State family.
And I'm gonna try to do one. I'm gonna do 1 yard one time, and I'm gonna sit down, and that's gonna be all I can give you.
Well, that's my saying. They say I got one play in. I got one play, 1 yard, one play, and just step to one. I'm done.
That's it.
I love it.
No doubt. Well, listen, we appreciate you.
God bless
Again,
you, man.
Tiger fans, we
you.
appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back. Tiger fans, welcome back to the Big Blue Pregame Show. I'm your host, Julius McNair.
And I'm your faculty athletic rep, Dr. Nicola Rigi.
And we got with us here now. I know this rap sheet probably can go from A to Z, but
we're gonna let the media team just slow scroll.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna keep it short. A lot of you may know that he has a couple things named after him around the city, not just just the campus. But today we got Mr. Howard Gentry with us.
Welcome.
Thank you.
The great Howard Gentry, should I say? Doc, how you doing, baby?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Feels beautiful up here.
Yeah.
Excited that it's John Merritt Classic. It's two reasons. One is it's football.
It's football.
It's football.
It's football.
Yes.
It's football. And then I know too you have a lot of connections with this day.
Yes.
Especially today.
Yes.
Obviously John A. Merritt himself, and then our JMC honoree. Honestly, I know you talked a lot about that for the last 2 days, and we're gonna give our fans a little opportunity for you to share your story and your friendship with Mr. Clint Gray.
Well, I've known Mr. Gray. Uncle Gray, we call him.
That's what everybody
I've known
call
Uncle
him.
Gray all my life. Now, he doesn't like to admit he's older than I am because I'm older than dirt, but I've known him all my life. And he's been around TSU athletics all his life. Mm-hmm. Well, let's say this. He's been around TSU athletics all my life.
Yeah.
And, I was born in Nashville. My first 4 years of life, I lived on TSU's campus. And I haven't lived over 11 minutes from TSU's campus in my life. And up to about 16 years ago, I never lived too far to walk to TSU. So it is my life. And Uncle Gray has always been a part of it. And my best memory of Uncle Gray is every time you saw John Merritt, you saw Uncle Gray.
Nice.
You saw Uncle Gray. And he wasn't just his arm candy or sidekick. They were friends. And Uncle Gray used to have a store on Jefferson Street, and he supplied Big John with all his cigars. And I don't know if Uncle Gray, I think he did smoke a cigar too, but Big John always smoked a cigar. And
he did.
And they were friends. And then Uncle Gray is also a loyal friend to Tennessee State University. He was a loyal friend to Dr. Hefner, who was the former president of TSU. He's loyal to the athletics department. And to me personally, not only has he been my loyal friend, but he's almost been like a guardian angel for me, especially during my years as athletics director.
That's awesome.
And that is awesome, because one of the things that everyone has talked about thus far in one way or another is that family element that you had. And so clearly spending the first 4 years of your life on the campus of Tennessee State University, talk about what that means to those that are new to campus, but also just to the Nashville community. What does that mean to have a family and be a part of a family like Tennessee State University?
I'll say it to the new and the young people, but I also say it to those of us who have already been through it.
Yeah.
It's everything to me. Everything I am, people tell me I've accomplished a lot, and I have. I mean, I'm blessed to have accomplished a lot, but it's through service. But Tennessee State University is responsible for everything I am and everything I have, and I say it to my more mature alums, because sometimes we have the audacity to get mad at the university. How you gonna get? That's like getting mad at your mama.
Hey.
How do you get mad at the university that basically birthed you after your mama, gave you everything you needed to be who you are today? You might get a little upset, or families do feud, but TSU is responsible. If you're making $10, it's responsible for that. And if you're raising your kids as an educated person in an educated family, TSU is responsible for that. So with me, I say it easily. Everything I've accomplished, politically, personally, family-wise, TSU. And that's what it means to me. Everything.
We just been getting thrown to the wolves today, because they've been on it, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, so clearly father, former athletic director.
Yes.
You are a former athletic director.
Yeah.
You are blessing us with your presence today. Talk to us about how this program has changed and evolved, and what makes you proud about being here right now.
Well, back to the athletic director, first thing. The last time we checked, my dad and I are the only father-son ADs at the same institution in NCAA history. Now, that might have changed, but when I first came in, that's the way it was, and that's kind of crazy in itself, because that's the only thing I ever wanted to do.
What, really?
Is to my dad was also head football coach, and in 1956 he won national championship. They won it again in 57, and I'd like to say right now my prayers are with Wilbur Sewsbury and his family. Just passed, and he was a quarterback for the 1956 national championship football team. But the fact is that that's all I ever wanted to be. I wanted to be just like my dad. And I was a football player too. And I got hurt my second year, and it ended my football career. But I still kind of had the dream. But ironically, when I was working at Tennessee State, I was an athletics director. I ran the foundation. I was director of development, and then I became associate vice president for administration, and athletics reported to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I became AD by de facto, really, because the AD left, and I was interim AD, and the president told me to serve 90 days and that we were going to hire a new AD. And we had a little problem, and I kind of helped get us out of the problem, and he told me to apply. And I got the job, and it was pretty amazing. We won our first two OVC basketball championships, men and women. We started the North development with the softball fields and what have you. And also, I hired L.C. Cole, who won the first OVC football championships. But my dad, on his deathbed, told me that I didn't need to follow in his footsteps, that I had other things that I could do and do better. Sports was all he had, and he took it to the highest level. And then the next day he died. And I was AD then, and I couldn't shake it. So I resigned.
Wow.
I went in later, about a year later, and went into politics. And I feel like I resigned on top and went into politics. But I have never, ever left TSU athletics. I'm also athletics, I want to say, biggest supporters. Some people will argue with me, but that's okay, because if you got a whole bunch of biggest supporters, then TSU athletics should be okay.
It should be okay. You're right about that.
So when you think about your contributions, not only to TSU, but also to the city of Nashville, how do you think that helps to take the Big Blue brand out to communities that may not traditionally know about us?
Well, I'm like a billboard. and I wish more of our alumni would be like billboards. Anytime I speak, and I get to speak very publicly,
you do.
I always talk about TSU. I always support TSU. When the wolves come after us, I stand in the gate.
Yeah.
And I fight back. And we're not perfect. A lot of times we make mistakes, but you have to admit those things. But still, we still have to support our university, both financially, but also personally. And so I'm that billboard, and so the John Merritt Classic is another billboard, and we should support that. I mean, you know what? TSU has so much greatness, and people, if you compare us to other universities, when you talk about our greatness, we have things that we've done and succeeded in that no other university in the nation has done.
That's true. That's true. And you was just finna go down this hole that I wanted to kind of pop in on. You know, we talk about all the negative that's been out there, right? You know, we can't control the negative.
No.
We can only control what we control, and our job is to make the negative positive, right? And bring
That's
more
true.
people in, get more voices involved. Be billboards, like you said, be billboards, and we need that, right? The students need that because they're going through things on campus that are different as well, and that's all around, right? And so the more people that we can bring that with positive energy to be able to create an experience that we all had when we were in school, right, Doc? And so, you know, we're just asking for everyone to be positive and be a billboard, you know, push that brand.
At the end of the day, we're still graduating thousands of the best and the brightest in spite of the negatives.
Absolutely.
That is so
Now,
true.
you say we can't control the negatives. Well, we can control the negative when we are responsible for the negative.
There you go.
That is so
Now,
true.
that's when we got to
That's
step
the
up.
negative, yeah.
That's when we got to step up. We got to own it
Yes.
and then get better. But no, you can't control
Yeah, you
somebody
can't.
that just wants to hate on us.
There you go.
But at the end of the day, the bottom line is that on graduation day, we have 1,000 students. I don't know the number, but it's close.
Yeah.
there.
That march across that stage and become productive citizens in the society and do great things. So at the end of the day, we get the job done.
We get the job done.
So let me just say this. I'm hearing music. I'm seeing energy. Our players are taking the field. TSU, Mississippi Valley State, first home game of the season. What does that mean for you? What does that feel like, that energy?
I get you probably can tell already. I get so hyped. I get so hyped. I haven't, I broadcast TSU football on the radio for 4 decades. And when Eddie, Dr. Allen got mad at me because I retired on him, but it was a good time for me to do it.
Yeah,
4 decades,
right.
that's a long time. And I'm talking about, I haven't missed a football game since I started broadcasting 4 years ago. But I would get so excited that I would have to literally take a chill pill, not for real,
Yeah, we got
and
you.
go somewhere and sit down to calm myself down before I get on the radio. Because I've been doing it ever since I was born.
Yeah.
My dad was head coach. Ever since I was born, I have been going to Tennessee State athletic events, but nothing like football.
Ain't nothing like
and
football.
I
that's
get
so
excited
true.
There's
about
nothing like football
That is
season.
so true. Don't break the habit this year.
it. The band,
No
the
doubt.
students,
It's a lot.
everything, the food, everything. I get
I'm
excited.
ready. I smell it.
Today, the fans
Yes.
are going to show up and show out. Mr. Gentry, we appreciate your time on the show.
Thank you.
We really do
Hey,
appreciate you.
And I appreciate you all. I've been listening to your podcast ever since you started. I mean, you might not call it a podcast. You might call it something else. But the network, whatever we want to call it, it is doing everything. It is great. I haven't missed a story. I haven't missed an interview. And thank you all for
Thank you.
bringing TSU story to the community, to the alumni, to everyone every week. I appreciate you.
Coming from you, I receive it.
No doubt. It's a
It's
pleasure.
on footage. We have it.
It's a pleasure. All right, well, Tiger fans, you heard from Mr. Gentry. Obviously, it's game day, right? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more. Welcome back, Tiger fans, to the Big Blue Pregame Show. I'm your host, Julius McNair.
Faculty Athletic Rep, Dr. Nicole Arrighi.
And with us now at the table, we have, I won't beef him up too much because I'll let him do
Beef
that.
him up. It's John A. Merritt Classic.
It is. So I'm not going to take away from that, right?
Okay.
All right, but I'll just say we got Mr. James Wade with us, former Tennessee State quarterback, and he wore a number that a lot of people have tried to wear, right? But that number, it means a lot to him, and I'll let him talk about the number 12 after he introduces, obviously, his intro.
All right. Hey, first of all, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. It's an honor first to be able to get here and talk about TSU football. This program means a lot to me, to my family. Grew up on the campus, and my mom was working here in the 60s.
Okay.
And I was born in 1970, and I've been on campus basically ever since. So thank you.
We're not mad at that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of legacy at the table. I will say that, and we can't take that away from anybody. So you heard me talk about the number, right? The number is 12. Talk about what made you wear that number, and who inspired you to wear that.
Yeah, number 12 for when I came through. There was, we go back even further, back to Coach Samuel Whitman. He was one of the first All-Americans at Tennessee State at quarterback. He wore number 12. Joe Gilliam Jr. wore number 12. And one of my idols here, also Brian Ransom, wore number 12. And he actually used to come pick me up in the neighborhood and take me out to Centennial Park and throw football. So getting number 12 was special because I had seen the greats, come up wearing that number. I was like, hey, Nashville kid with number 12, I got to represent.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so behind us, fans, you may not know this, we have the band marching in. I smell the food. We have royalty in the building. So what does that feel like? I mean, it's our first home game. What does that feel like to be a student athlete affiliated with this program, but also to be here today for the John A. Merritt Classic?
It's awesome. It feels like I'm about to play again, And I like all the former football players around end of July, early August, you start getting that itch.
Absolutely.
You smell it in the air, like, hey, it's football season. But the very first game that you've been practicing all spring, all summer, doing the workouts, working out, people not seeing you, like, hey, we about to get in front of the home team, home crowd, let's go out there and show out. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're glad that you're back around, and you talked about Joe Gilliam, right? And I know there's a camp that honors, his name, holds his name. So talk about the importance of that camp.
Yeah, the importance of that camp, I've been involved with it over 15 years now. And we actually next year will be year 25.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So Joey wanted to come back and provide a camp for underprivileged kids. Okay, that was the main gist of it. And what we've turned it into is the money that we raise, it goes into a book fund at Tennessee State.
Oh, wow.
And it pays for the books of any former TSU football players, their spouses or their kids.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
So we have that in the foundation, and we put money in there every year. But the main thing is going out into the community, into the metro parks, into these underserved areas, and getting the kids to come to the camp. It's a free camp. We do sponsorships because we don't want to turn any kid away. So it's not only about football. We teach them life skills. We have librarians come out. Metro Police comes out. Howard comes out and speaks. Different people in the community come out to just give them life skills as well. So at the end of that week, you're fulfilled. You're like, hey, we took some kids here. Some of these kids don't have, dual parents.
Right.
Yeah.
And I still have a lot of the kids, over the last 15 years, I still have some of their numbers in my phone.
Wow.
They'll call up and say, hey, Coach Wade, I'm in school, I'm doing this. I just got married. Seeing them on TV. Some of them going to college to play ball. They just know that, we did the right thing.
Yeah,
we got that from the education at TSU.
Yeah, that's fulfilling.
Yeah.
That is very fulfilling. To obviously not just support Joe, but to support the kids and obviously the message behind that camp. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so someone who has been in the quarterback's shoes, and it's game day, what advice would you give to Draylen to kind of calm himself? I mean, I know Draylen, I love you, baby, but you're not a rookie, so this is not going to be a tough question. But in the quarterbacks club, what advice would you give him to go ahead and set the 2024 season off right?
I'm going to tell you like they used to tell me, it's showtime.
I love it.
You put the work in. Work in. The game should be the easy part. Practice is where you put all the work in, and you work the kinks out. And when you show up at on Saturday night at 7 o'clock, or in this case 5 o'clock, it's showtime.
It's showtime.
You want to represent yourself, represent your family,
Yep.
represent the school. That's number one. And
Absolutely.
then represent all the Tigers that came before you, because you have that responsibility.
Absolutely. No, you're right.
Okay, so Coach James, I mean, I need you to be clear about this. You at the big blue table, and everybody else up here been trying to hold out. But I feel like I've heard that there's this quarterback swag, and I feel like you, sir, have a good John A. Merritt classic memory. So for the fans out there today, we're gonna put it on the table. What is your most memorable John A. Merritt classic?
My most memorable one probably was the first one.
Okay.
Probably was the first one, because, growing up in the city, John Merritt is a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, John Merritt is a legend. I was a ball boy at 5 and 6 years old. I couldn't tell you how many times on the top field, practice field, I was at practice and got ran over on the sideline because of the players. I can't tell you how many times. All our buddies was up there.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to finally get his just due, to get a classic, that was very meaningful, and we continue that, keep that name going. That family has done so much, along with the Gillum family, for Tennessee State. We have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to do that. So the very first one is my first.
And I will say, for faculty and staff who come to TSU for employment, or we're migrants of the Tennessee State University community, it speaks volumes when you see alumni, both student athletes and fans, on campus getting us hyped, because this is a beautiful thing, and it's not something that people know but should know about.
Yeah.
So when you think about how that permeates to the TSU, the external community, which is Nashville, where they drive down the interstate and see that big blue logo, what pride does that have for you as a former student athlete?
Oh, it's great. I mean, my fondest memories are on that campus at 3500 John Merritt Boulevard. I became a man on that campus. I found my wife on that campus. We've been married 30 years next week.
Wow.
Okay.
We met in freshman year in computer science class.
Okay, go to class. That's why you go to class.
Go to
That's
class.
why you go.
I saw her, I'm like, that's gonna be the one right there. So but it's just a pride. It has always been a family affair, and to this day, the people that I met in school, we can get together, and it's like we've never been apart. So that's the big thing I take away from it.
That's awesome. And so you talk about some of your off the field things that you've kind of ventured into with the camp and some other things. Talk about the reason you give back to Tennessee State athletics. How important is that?
It's very important. I mean, because first of all, this is my school.
I like it.
That's my attitude. I learned so much here. I would not be where I am in life if it wasn't for Tennessee State. Okay? And my parents taught me, hey, you give back, for people that poured into you. And the people on this campus poured into me for 4.5, 5 years while I was in school. But over the time that I can remember to now, all the alumni are still, hey, little Jimmy, I'm still little Jimmy. I'm 50-some years old now, I'm still little Jimmy.
It happens.
So that's the thing. It's a family. It's a responsibility that I take on, and I don't take it lightly. Because I want people to come behind me to have the same opportunities and even better than I have. So.
Well, I'll say on behalf of obviously TSU Athletics, and obviously from a development standpoint, which is I oversee, we appreciate your support and doing that for our student athletes, because at the same, like you said, you want those before you to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but Doc, you got any more questions for
I
little Jimmy?
Now listen, you did it. I didn't do it. So, from a student athlete perspective, you know the importance of fan engagement.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about giving back, yes, we definitely want your dollars, because that definitely does make sense. But showing up today, talk about what that means as a student athlete when they can look up in the stands, hear the band, hear the crowd. What does that feel like?
It is the best feeling, because again, you're out there working during the week and no one's watching.
Yeah.
And people are going about their day-to-day jobs. You got their blood, sweat, and tears. And you going to school on top of that as well. And then you come out on Saturday and the band's playing and they're singing the fight song, and you see that blue and white up in the stands.
Yeah.
It makes you say, hey, showtime.
I love it.
No doubt.
I absolutely love it.
Well, James, we appreciate you. Obviously, we're proud that we're all here today. I mean, football, like you said, it's football. It's showtime. It's showtime. We're about an hour and 8 minutes away from kickoff, so it's showtime. So we appreciate you. Enjoy the game. I'm glad you're here, and I hope to see you more this season.
All right, thank you. I will be.
Indeed. Right. Enjoy the game.
Oh, yeah. I'm blessed.
Okay. We've had a lineup. We've had a
stellar lineup.
We've had. I think we topped the last one that's with our coaches.
You said that. I wasn't going to throw him under the bus like that, but it's been a very rewarding day, and that just speaks to the richness of our football legacy. It speaks to the legacy of John A. Merritt.
Absolutely.
As a coach, and it's just an awesome, rewarding thing just to hear the stories and know how the community at Tennessee State University is family, it's fun, it's food, it's fellowship, but also how it extends out into the Nashville community.
Absolutely, and obviously we want to continue that legacy of our students and their families, and obviously the support. Again, the support is needed, whether it's financial, whether it's mental, whether it's health. It don't matter. Support is support, and obviously we need. So
I need your support because, again, for those of you that are just joining in, it's Julius's first John A. Merritt Classic. I have never met someone at their first Classic, so I need you guys here to make sure he has a proper induction today.
I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that.
Okay.
Well, joining us now, another Tennessee State alum, a two-sport athlete. He's currently the principal.
Uh-huh.
And I heard Principal of the Year.
Yeah, I was.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but somebody said it.
Let me tell you something. As a former Metro School educator, hats off for being former, current. You have that title of being Principal of the Year.
Of the year. Yeah, well, with the stands, we got Mr. Ramy.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to the show.
All right, thank you.
How's you feeling?
Oh, man, I'm great. I feel pretty good. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
We're
excited. Obviously, we've had a lot of alums. We had a lot of letter winners. We had you're only one of the two-sport collegiate athletes I've on set today. One being myself. Okay. So
listen, if you count double Dutch and hopscotch, I'm in it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. But no, so just talk about the John Merritt. I mean, your experience and the importance of it.
Oh, man, so it's very important. When you have anything to do with Tennessee State football, you definitely have an understanding of who John Merritt is to our football foundation. So being able to be a part of that during the time that I was here, and as I continue to live my journey, it's been great. And just knowing, as I said, man, just being able to be a part of such a rich tradition and knowing someone who basically laid some of the foundations to not just Tennessee State University, but football as a whole. Absolutely. College football, man, he meant so much to the sport. So it's definitely great to be a part of this process.
So as a TSU alum, and a former Principal of the Year, you obviously have leadership skills that I hope were developed here on the campus of Tennessee State University. Can you share with the fans about what that means to you and how you've used that in your daily life?
Well, the biggest thing about, sports and in general, people really don't understand the value in terms of that thing called teamwork. Mm-hmm. You really begin to understand how it's important for you to be able to do your job and trust everyone else to do theirs. It teaches you about discipline. As a former student athlete, I had to have a different kind of schedule, especially when I got older, because I ended up being a grad school student my last year playing. So my schedule was a little different. So I had to be a little bit more disciplined with regard to time management. So, you learn skills such as teamwork, discipline. You learn how to help other people be better. So all of those different characteristics have helped me in what I do on a daily basis.
And so on your shirt, you have the lovely TSU logo. Recognizing the importance of having an HBCU in a state public institution in the city of Nashville, how do you carry that brand out into the metro schools? Oh, man,
I carry it out on a daily basis. When you have been a product of public school education as a whole, and then you go from public school education to an HBCU where I got 2 degrees, I'm very proud of the foundation that it helped me to create. And so I talk to my students, I talk to young people on a daily basis about the different things that they can learn
and how the HBCU as a whole was more like a family, and it helped us to really become much more connected. So I think when you have just that alone, you can never, everybody can gain from that. So that's how I lead as a principal. We don't have faculty meetings, we have family meetings.
Like it.
So that's as a result of some of the things that I've learned throughout my time, not only as a football player, but more so as an HBCU athlete, student athlete at TSU.
Now, it's getting a little rowdy.
Oh, yeah,
here.
it's time.
So,
It's time.
I know typically for us educators, August, September can be a brutal time of the year, but it comes with a little bit of a blessing that we know football is right around the corner. So what are you excited about for today's game?
Well, I'm just excited for the young men to be able to get out. One of the first things that, that first game is always electric. You've had all summer. You've had, the drooling 2 or 3 days, depending on what your position was, it could be 3 days. So when you have 2 weeks of that and you've consistently gone back and forth from spring to summer with your teammates, it's great to be able to go out on the field and really show the things that you've been working hard on in practice. And now it's just time to get paid.
I know that's right.
That's true. Yeah, we're about less than what, an hour and 5 from kickoff.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely time to get paid.
Absolutely.
So just to talk about obviously your relationship with Dr. Allen and where he has led this athletic department over his 4 years now.
Absolutely. So Dr. Allen, man, is you can't go wrong when you start off as being a man of Kappa Alpha Psi.
I knew it was going to come up.
That always helps the process. And that brother has been here, and since day one, he and I have connected. We actually just got through having a conversation about my son and how he needs to come see him. So, man, we've connected. We actually had a conversation a couple of weeks ago. He and Coach George came to speak to the principals at MNPS, and we had a quick moment after their presentation. So, man, it's been good to just watch some of the things that he's been able to do, the innovation, the creativity that he's been able to bring to the program, and we're just really excited about what's next.
Yeah, there's a lot of what's next. I'll tell you that. I won't tell everybody, but I'll say it's a lot of what's next, and that's what I'm here to help them with. And obviously, we want the support from you guys, and we want the backing from everyone to get on board, because when we take off now, we don't want to see you chasing the bus because it's gonna get to moving. So, but no, man, this is obviously a great opportunity for our football team to start the season on a high note. Here at home, right? I hadn't been able to do this in a while. And obviously it's the weather right now. I think I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'm gonna cross my fingers and say it's gonna hold up.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's gonna hold up, because that's the energy that we bring to our land of golden sunshine. And I can tell you, it is golden sunshine and hot. So before we let you go, I'm still trying to get somebody on this segment today.
They're being very modest. They are all been modest.
I might leave him alone because he's a principal. I need him.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, he can still give us one. He can.
Okay, so you can give us the MNPS version, but what is your favorite John A. Merritt classic memory?
My favorite John A. Merritt classic memory. Well, my teammates and I, and I'll be honest, James Wade was my former roommate. Just being able to have all of us come together, and we took a snapshot some years ago, and it was just reminded me of the forever brotherhood that we had, and it was just great to be able to see everybody, and we connected, and we stay connected. We have a chat line that we stay on.
There you go.
But being able to see everybody, man, doing well, and being present was just an awesome thing.
That's
well,
awesome.
I'll tell the DJ to play wipe me down. We're going to have to let the Kappas get your stroll on. I know, I saw the cane in one of the footages of you, so I know that it's not retired.
It's around.
Well, Ramy, we appreciate you joining the set with us, man. I obviously want you to enjoy the game.
Absolutely.
Get the people on their feet today.
All right, man. Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
All right.
Tiger fans, that's Mr. Ramy. We're going to take a quick break before we come back, and we'll end the show.
Wonderful.
Tiger fans, welcome back to the Big Blue Pregame Show. I'm your host, Julius McNair.
And I'm your faculty athletic rep, Dr. Nicole Arrighi.
And we have with us one of the greatest former NFL defensive linemen for the Tennessee Titans, Mr.
Can we play that welcome back Carter music? Welcome back. Welcome back.
No doubt. We got Mr. Albert Haynesworth here with us, former Tennessee Titan defensive lineman, great friend of Coach Eddie George, great friend of the late Steve McNair. And so, Albert, appreciate you joining the show with us.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know you spent some time this fall with Coach George and the team. Just talk about the preparations that you've seen this team get ready for.
You know, just like when you go from spring to fall, it's about like stepping it up. You know, it's not really practice. You got to start practicing like you're playing a game. So that was kind of like some of the things that we were there, me and my buddy Keith Bullock.
Yeah.
And we wanted to show them just like the mentality of how, like when we were in training camp, how we played.
Yeah, no, that's true, and I'm sure I know you guys have tons of experience to share with those guys, and so that's been wonderful that you guys have been able to do that, and just talk about the growth of Eddie from year one to now in his position as the head football coach there.
I think it was just like now that he always had the football knowledge, but it's just him getting comfortable in the road, and not to try to overdo too much, just to kind of oversee the whole project. And that's when you have good or great assistant coaches that they can live out his vision of what he wants this team to be like.
For sure.
So you've been a part of some big games in your NFL career. What is that first game of the season like, and how does that resonate when you see these bands and players getting ready for today?
Well, one thing about college, you're always hitting your teammate. So the first time you get to hit somebody on another team is actually in a real game. So I think it's going to be. I think you're going to see like some explosions, like in the beginning, and like and then guys are going to kind of like settle down and get to playing that game like they know how to.
Yeah, I will say, Doc, back when I was playing,
How many years ago was that? Sorry.
13. All right.
Oh, me too.
13.
Yeah, me too.
I will say we used to just jump off sides on purpose. And when I was playing defense, I was playing quarterback as well. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But you don't only have a relationship with Coach Eddie George, you also have a relationship with our athletic director, Mikki Allen. So talk about, I guess, his days back at UT Knox. And then,
you got dirt. Put it on the table.
Listen, he's standing there, so I had to. So talk about Mikki a little bit.
What is this? The censor? We're on Fox. We're on HBO. I don't want to say too much.
This is the Big Blue Network. We can talk.
Right. Well, Dr. Allen now. We like to call him
modest,
Dr. Allen now.
very modest.
Not Mikki. When I grew up, when I was just a pup, I came into the University of Tennessee when I was only 17 years old.
Oh wow.
So Mikki Allen, now Dr. Allen, was like a big brother to me. So he was always in my ear, just like, hey, to do the right thing, keep your cool, and just keep going. He's like, you can go far in this game. He's like, just from all the talent he's been around, he's like, you can go far in this game. So he was always really like a mentor to me, and like a bigger brother, a little bigger brother, but just keeping me straight.
That's awesome.
So we're here behind us. Is the energy is getting up there. So from a fan perspective, what do our Tiger fans need to know in terms of their engagement to make sure that we keep momentum from that first play all the way to the last play?
Oh, definitely. Like you got to stand behind the guys. It's going to be ups and downs in the game, but as long as they can keep their focus and keep going, they're going to win some games. They're going to win a majority. I think it's going to be more than they won the last couple of years, for sure.
Yeah, I would think so. Obviously, I think Coach George and that staff has raved about the type of players that they brought in this year, and it's probably been by far one of their better teams. And I'm sure you and Keith Bullock have been out there and been around it, and I know those kids have enjoyed that. And I know you probably enjoyed a little bit of it as well as being Coach Haynesworth a little bit.
Well, yeah, it was just. One thing I was trying to do is the hustle part. Like your coaches can tell you the X's and O's, but
Always.
it's the little stuff that make you better, you know. And like when you start doing that little stuff, you're going to propel your game. So, me, it was just like, hey, run to the ball. Why are we running to the ball? You know, I'm like, hey, because you know what? Because when they get into the fourth quarter, those receivers are going to start having short arms because you're going to have the big defensive linemen running down and laying hats on them. Like, so the guys are going to be a little tired, you know. So just run to the ball. That's also going to give you better conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, so you can last in the game longer, you know. So, I mean, there's just a couple of things that I was trying to, you know, like instill into them what like I wasn't really coached to do. I mean, other than Jim Washburn, we ran to the ball. But, like, those are the little things that, like, took me a long, long way. So.
Yeah.
So for all the football fans out there, what is like a pregame tradition that you did to kind of settle yourself to get focused for your season?
I'm glad Keith's not here right now.
Well, where is Keith?
Because they were like me, as it got closer to the game, I came in this focus, this mean face, this mean mug they saw. They would see. I think you would see some of the like faces if you Google them and stuff like that. And I just had that mentality. It's like I can't be stopped. I felt offended, you know, disrespected that another guy was actually trying to block me that was on his field. Like I like playing away, you know, because I wanted his wife and his kids and his mom and daddy to see him get his behind kicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was my mentality. So that's always that face I had on the sideline because I felt so disrespected. And then, like with the national anthem going on, I'm just like, this guy doesn't even know what's about to happen.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Do you think you can take it?
Yeah. Next question.
Next question. Well,
go ahead. No.
Well, I was just gonna say we appreciate you being on the show, man. Obviously, it's game day, and obviously, you know, you've been around the boys. I know you're probably gonna go down a little bit and probably pop one or two aside the head, tell them get ready type deal. But no, we appreciate you being on the show, man. And I look forward to obviously seeing you more and talking to you more.
Absolutely, I'll be around a lot more.
Awesome.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
Any good seats out here in the house? Where's the best seat?
I don't know. I need whatever the coolest spot is. That's where I need to be at.
You got that right.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely need the coolest spot.
Well, awesome. We'll appreciate you, and we'll see you down on the field.
Thank you.
All right, man.
You.
Well, Doc.
I'm excited. Can you guys see all my excitement? Like, it's game time, almost game time, or just game time? Like,
it's almost.
It's pre-game time.
It is pre-game time.
It's pre-game time.
No, the fans are starting to pile in. You know, the band is in place, I believe. The players are taking the field. And so, you know, obviously, it's game day, right? We're excited. Couldn't ask for better weather at this moment. Couldn't ask for a better time. I mean, it's Labor Day weekend. It's the Johnny Merritt Classic.
So you have no excuse. You can't even say, like, I got to go to work on Monday.
You can't say that.
You don't even have to go to work on Monday. Oh, my gosh.
I expect the crowd.
No, I expect you to have some good, memorable John A. Merritt Classic memories.
Good ones that I can share.
That you can share.
That I can
We're going to
share.
hold you to that.
Without a doubt. Well, Tiger fans, listen, we appreciate you tuning in. This has been phenomenal. Obviously, we had a great lineup. We had a lot of history. We've had celebration of records. We've had celebration of John A. Merritt himself. And obviously, our honoree, Mr. Clinton Gray. Obviously, we couldn't have found a better honoree who was a friend of John A. Merritt himself. And Doc, I mean, any last words?
I want to welcome the Mississippi Valley State fans to Nashville, to Nissan State, our stadium. And just encourage the fans, if you haven't purchase your tickets not just for today, but for the entire season. We have a wonderful lineup that you can certainly check out on our athletics website, but I'm excited.
Well, with that being said, this has been the Big Blue Pregame Show. I'm your host, Julius McNair.
And Dr. Nicola Rigi.
Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.